Welcome into another edition of the Pro Hockey News Podcast, brought to you by our friends at MyCustomSportsChair.com. Check them out at MyCustomSportsChair.com. Get anything you want from your favorite sports team put on a chair. Or if you have a favorite intern, you could probably put his face on a chair too. But we don't have one of those at PHN, so we can't do that.
Wow.
Richard Cote, Nick the intern, Lonnie Goldsmith, Adam Minnick with you on the First Line edition. The reason why we don't have a favorite intern, then we'd have to have a least favorite intern.
It could be one and the same.
Well, that would, yeah, that'd be bad.
I've got a favorite child.
I do too.
We know.
I have a favorite wife too.
Yeah,
it's true.
I do. So we're recording this on April 10th. So we are post post Ovi praise. But forget that. Let's just talk about Wednesday night for a second. If you like goals, what a night it was.
This was the NHL I grew up in.
Yeah, this was the night. Like this was like late 80s, early 90s stuff. Eriksson Ek with one for Minnesota. Some dude named Macklin Celebrini. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He plays out in San Jose. Matthew Knees for Toronto. And probably the most surprising one, Tyson Forrester, goes over the 20-goal mark with his hat trick for the Flyers. Four hat tricks.
And you had Eriksson Ek and Celebrini in the same game.
True. Yeah. Yes. And here's the thing. There were more goals scored than just those two in the game. So... which happened to be potentially, most likely, the last home game ever played by Marc-Andre Fleury. And it was what you would expect from a Marc-Andre Fleury game, right? Very tight, close-knit, not much going in, except it was 8-7 in overtime. San Jose did go for 2 and converted, and the 49ers beat the Vikings at the XL Energy Center last night, 8-7.
No, other way.
Or yes, the Niners beat the
Vikings won.
Vikings beat the Niners.
Yeah. That's true. Don't take that away from Fleury. He needs that.
No,
win.
I had it. You put it wrong on the rundown, which messed me up. I
said San Jose at Minnesota 8-7,
and then you put 8-7 in that order, which messed me up because I'm like, didn't Minnesota win? But maybe I watched it wrong and all that.
I gotta tell you, I do think possibly the most surprising piece of that box score is both Alexander Georgiev and Marc-Andre Fleury went the distance.
Yes. Yeah.
15 goals between them, 14 in regulation, and nobody got yanked.
I wonder how much it has to do with the fact that San Jose is in Edmonton tomorrow and Minnesota's on the road too tomorrow, I believe, in Calgary. I wonder how much of that was wear it.
I understand Minnesota's standpoint in this being Fleury's possible last game in the NHL. Let him play, go the distance, no matter how it goes. Let him do his thing. His last home game in front of his home crowd. San Jose, their season's been shot since it started. So why pull Georgiev? He's had these games plenty this season. So.
That's true. I mean, in San Jose's defense, they basically were eliminated from the playoffs after the first week of the season.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, you got to go way back in the game log, and he's played too many games, so I'm sure as hell not going to do it. To find the last time that Marc-Andre Fleury had a 774 save percentage in a game that he didn't get yanked early. I mean, that's a tough outing for him.
It is. With their overtime win, coupled with the St. Louis Blues loss last night, in the final seconds in Edmonton, Minnesota goes back to the number 1 wildcard team in the West as we talk about this. Gentlemen, as we look at the bottom of the West standings, I think we're pretty set with the teams now in the West.
Yeah.
Probably. The only thing to watch out for with Calgary is they've got 2 games in hand. They could really, I mean, yes, they're 5 points down, so they can't get all the way back, but they can make it a little tighter than St. Louis would like it to be.
Yeah, magic number's 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's probably over at this point. But
okay, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, what, St. Louis has Seattle and Utah left?
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's pretty favorable.
Yeah. So West is set. Now we just wait to see who plays who. What's more interesting to me is the East. Specifically, I'm going to look at the Metropolitan Division and check on the team in third place, the New Jersey Devils. I believe let's see, they got a 10-point lead. They have an X by the name. I think the Devils made the playoffs, Richard. I believe that happened.
I believe so. Despite their
Yes.
best efforts, they did make the playoffs.
Yes, which I think oh no, not everybody thought that was going to happen.
I think the Rangers and Columbus are both going to leapfrog New Jersey, and New Jersey falls out.
Wow.
Ooh.
To be fair, I already copped that before you got on the Zoom.
Yeah, but people didn't get to listen to that.
It went the way of the rest of my predictions. Like, don't if I pick something, go the opposite way. Listeners need to know that by now.
So don't listen to anything you say?
The listeners wouldn't be any different than my children, so it's fine. I'm used to that.
So you're encouraging this?
It just is what it is.
So you're accepting this?
Yes, I'm in the acceptance stage. Look, I like to zig when everybody else zags. It's
to be honest, I believe Lonnie is still doing better than Adam in the picks this year.
But don't listen to him, he said. So
who do we listen to?
Well, I mean, it's for entertainment purposes only. It depends what you define as entertainment. I'm here to
find this entertaining. It is entertaining.
There you go.
It's entertaining to hear Lonnie's off-the-wall predictions.
Mathematically, Lonnie is still doing better than Adam.
That's true. We've been doing this for so long that our spreadsheet with all the tabs is so messed up. It took us that long for somebody to find it.
It's also been that long since we've had everybody on the same line in the same episode.
It's also the first year I'm below 500 since we've been doing this, so I don't even want to hear it.
See, I'm routinely below 500, so I'm used to this.
I got the trophy.
You do have the trophy this year. That is correct. I still was above 500.
Hand delivered too. Point. It's great.
So we look in the East. It's still kind of it's kind of evening itself out. The crazy thing is, instead of jumbling for the second wild card, Montreal has taken control, and now there's like 4 teams that are all fighting, really 6 teams that are all fighting for what draft pick they're going to get. The draft, the Detroit, the Islanders, the Jackets, the Rangers, the Sabres, all separated by 3 points for draft status. That's where we're at now.
Well, Detroit's won 4 more games out of their last 10 than I would have liked to have them to have won. This season's been a unmitigated disaster, and although going into it with the goaltenders they did, it's not all that surprising either. Keep losing at this point.
There you go.
I mean, once you're officially eliminated, I guess have a little pride and see what you can do against Florida tonight. But I think Montreal's about to close out that last playoff spot.
I think so too.
I was just sad to see after 7 straight wins or however many the Sabres had, they now have an E next to their name. It's it took this long for them to finally be eliminated from the playoffs.
Adam walked away because he started talking about the Sabres again.
I know.
I do. If I hear that word, I just walk away.
Hey, they're 2-0.
And still eliminated. Still eliminated.
Yep.
5 in a row at this point. I mean, they're
5 in a row and 5 in a row and 8 of 10. It's not bad. It's the hottest Buffalo's been in years.
You know, Buffalo has now something in common with the New York Jets. 14 years of missing the playoffs.
Oof.
So for upstate New York and for New Jersey fans, tough go for those playoff teams.
Yeah.
Tough go. But yeah, they win 5 in a row, so they're hurting their draft picks. We know Washington's the 1. We know that we're getting Carolina and New Jersey in the first round. That's all we know. We're pretty close to saying that Tampa is going to have home ice in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
as they sit 3 ahead of Florida and 3 behind Toronto, so they can still win the division. And Ottawa is welcome back to the playoffs. Is that the biggest surprise of the playoff group? Is the Ottawa Senators are going to the postseason? Any bigger surprise on the board?
I
gotta say, honestly, I think both wildcard teams out of the East.
Yeah.
I don't think Montreal, anybody had that kind of high hopes for either.
But Montreal's not in just yet.
Not yet.
It's not official. They don't have the X. But, after tonight, they will. I don't know. The beginning of the season, I think the biggest surprise for me, going way back into my mindset back then, and I know we've talked about this a bunch, Washington winning the Metropolitan. I think that's a bigger surprise to me than Ottawa making the playoffs. Ottawa in the top 3 would have been great. That would have been a huge surprise for me, but they weren't going to crack that nutshell in the Atlantic.
Okay, I can live with that. I want
to go a step beyond that. It's not just Washington winning the division; it's the way in which they did it.
Yeah, their dominance. Yeah,
it's remarkable. And yes, they've, you wonder how much the goal chase has kind of, weighed on form. They are, 500 in their last 10. But even with that, they're still 11 points clear. They've clinched. They've got the Y, not just the X. And they're a plus 66.
Yeah.
Which is second best in the East to Tampa.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. So speaking of Washington, you allude to it. Ovechkin breaks the record. He did it in his office, but with a wrister, not a slapper. So we didn't have the 1T going on there, but I mean the spot on the ice that he did it from on the power play, I mean it's perfect, absolutely perfect.
Where it had to happen from, not just should happen from. Had to be there.
Exactly. Of course, did against the Islanders. Good. The celly, got to work on the celly. Didn't get enough slide on the soccer flop.
No, it was a little bit too much up and down as opposed to out.
I think it was because he's on skates. He has that little couple extra inches that he has to drop down to. It's not as good as his Stanley Cup celebration. That was a better slide.
Agreed. So, so he breaks it. So now the question is does it get broken in less than 31 years? Howell held it for 31 years. Gretzky held it for 31 years. Gretzky and Ovechkin do it within a game of each other. I mean, the symmetry is just unbelievable with this whole thing. Austin Matthews is on pace.
Mm-hmm.
If he plays forever, he's on pace to break it.
I did some math on this.
Let's hear your mathing.
So I did some mathing, and again, coming from a journalist, double check my math, but I'm pretty sure I got this right. Some of the top scorers in the league right now and their current pace and the season in which they would surpass 895 if that's where the record stays. Austin Matthews, as you said, he is currently on pace in 12 seasons because he is averaging about 44 goals a season, and he has 389 goals right now. He's 9 seasons in. In the 2037-2038 season is when he would be on schedule to break the record. Connor McDavid, more of an assist guy, but still scores plenty of goals. 36 goals per season, he's on average. He has scored 361 goals in his career. It would take him 15 seasons from now to break the record in the 2040-2041 season. Leon Draisaitl, 2 years before that, he would break it. It would take him 13 seasons. And Nathan McKinnon would take him 17 seasons as he is averaging 30 goals a season. He would be there in the 2042-43 season.
Did you do Matt Michkov?
I did not do Michkov.
Or Macklin Celebrini?
I don't know what kind of pace he's on. We've only had
Well, we got 66 and 76 games worth of information. Do the math.
Yeah, a little
We
too
don't have
small
a
a sample
complete
size.
we don't have a complete season from him.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. God, so no rookies. Okay.
Yeah.
So who's doing it?
I mean, the pace he's on, my money's on Matthews. And he'll probably do it as a member of an American team at some point.
Ooh.
He'll get traded from the Leafs as they start to lose faith in him, and maybe he'll be part of that new Arizona team that comes up.
Nah, he'll probably be in Atlanta.
Back to his roots.
He feels more Atlanta-y. Lonnie, who you got?
I think it's going to be Matthews. I was leaning Draisaitl until I looked and saw he's got one more goal than Matthews does for his career, which fine, but he has played 165 more games, which mean and again, I think he suffers a little bit from the same thing that McDavid does. Is they get almost as many goals as assists. There's too much unselfishness, and I think Matthews, like Ovechkin, is just the right kind of selfish. And I mean that in the best way possible for a goal scorer. Like in the current era of the NHL, you need to be ruthless and selfish.
I did do one more name, if you'd be at all interested. This is in no way meaning it is going to happen, because it is an impossibility. Sidney Crosby. It would take him until the 2032-33 season, as he is in his 20th NHL season. It would take him 8 more seasons to break the record. 28 seasons, I think, is a bit much for Sid the Kid.
Agreed.
He's never scored goals at that kind of pace.
Correct. Yep.
But that is his current pace is 36 per season. And, add on a couple extra seasons because he's going to get injured in between, and we know that's going to happen.
I just don't see any way that happens.
No.
Yeah, no.
It was for fun.
It's fun. Nick, who you got? Anyone on that list?
Statistically, I mean Matthews, but I don't think anyone breaks it. Because you also sort of taken into account the fact that Ovi's still got one more year left on his contract, right? So who knows how many he scores next year. And like Richard said, but I did more math. It would take Matthews 39 goals a season for the next 13 years to hit 900. So I don't think Ovi stops with 5 more goals.
And that's my biggest thing is I don't think Ovechkin's done after one more year. I think he's got 3 or 4. I think he's Yager-like in terms of years. So I don't think anybody playing now is going to eclipse it as my prediction, just because I think his number is going to go much more north of what it is.
Let me throw this out there. He's broken the record. Let's say he wins the cup this year.
Yeah.
He gets a second cup. The legacy is already locked in, right? Legacy cemented with the second cup. He's already, be the toast of Washington. He's going to own that town. Is there a chance he says, you know what? What's left to do?
No, he's going to kick.
I don't think so either. I just want to
I think he keeps
just throw that out there.
I think he keeps playing. Yep.
I don't think he goes to another team, though. I think he will end his career as a Cap. I don't think he's going to.
Oh, I agree. Yes.
He's not going to play just to hang on, and the Capitals will keep him around as long as he wants to play hockey and as long as he's productive. I don't think he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who will keep going past the point of usefulness. He's not going to stick around just to collect a paycheck. As long as he's still, popping 30 goals plus a year, I think he's going to stick around.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Can't disagree. Much as I want to.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't.
Can't.
Makes too much sense.
So we need to talk about, because it's almost time to cut down the number of teams playing hockey. You can use Manscaped to cut down things in your body. Manscaped.com. BHN20 is the code. Check them out at manscaped.com. Tell them we sent you. Get all your stuff. Trim is needed. So we're cutting down to the postseason with half the league going to be watching at home and playing on the golf course and all that. We pretty much looks like we know our wild card teams, the 4 wild card teams of Minnesota, St. Louis, Ottawa, Montreal. Mini prediction time. Of those four teams, who has the best chance for a first round upset?
Ottawa. Well,
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree
yeah,
with you.
I'll stay with Ottawa. I like their goaltending.
I think I've said every week I'm scared about facing Ottawa in the first round. So
Lonnie?
Um, I think Ottawa in the East too. I mean, I'm gonna just a little something different. I'm gonna say Minnesota. I think they can score goals again with Eriksson Ek and Kaprizov back. That's gonna help a lot, and we'll see what happens with the Denver University in these next couple games if Minnesota is going to shore up their defense or not. But
So you mean
I like
University of Denver.
Is it University? I thought it was
It is.
DU.
It's DU, but it's like CU is University of Colorado. DU is the University of Denver.
See, that's what threw me.
And KU is Kansas, but they're the University of Kansas. Everything
right.
west
KU
of like
is
Missouri is weird.
It's bizarre. So we're gonna whatever. Either way, we're gonna whatever you want to call it. We're gonna see what Denver does at the Frozen Four, and with Shai Buyam and see what they end up, what the Wild end up wanting to do.
You can just shorten it up and just make it easy and just call them the future national champion Pioneers.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in predictions. I think I'm going to kind of take a reverse. Whoever plays Toronto or Winnipeg has the best chance.
Which is funny. I think that's why we said Ottawa.
Yeah,
in Minnesota.
Well,
sorry, Nicholas.
I'm not sure who's playing Winnipeg because the Minnesota St. Louis thing down the stretch is going to be interesting.
That's true. That could get interesting.
Yeah, I like Ottawa's chances. They're playing with house money. They got nothing to lose, and then Toronto's going to have all the pressure on them in the battle, in the provincial battle. So I think Ottawa potentially has the best chance to pull the wild card.
And I think that sort of goes to what Richard said of not being surprised by them. They've had the talent for a couple of years, and now they're finally putting it all together. They're a pain in the ass team to play against.
Yeah, they are.
I felt like Ullmark was the piece that they needed to get over the hump to finally make it into the postseason. So I had high hopes for them once they made that move in the offseason.
Yeah.
Yep. And if the Toronto Ottawa thing happens, that will by far be the most interesting first round. I don't care what other matchups happen. There's your number one first round matchup.
I mean, and I'm happy for Nicholas being in Canada because being down here, I think that's going to be the series that gets the short shrift of networks. And it shouldn't because it's going to be an absolute banger of a playoff series.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of impractical jokers post-game in that series.
Wait. So you take that over a Colorado-Dallas first round with Mikko Rantanen playing against his former team?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I had to think for a second. Okay. I was like, what do you mean? They're not playing Carolina.
Yeah, right.
That's his former team. Like that's a has-been.
That's right. He has had a team in between. I forgot it. Yeah. That's right. He did go to Carolina for, a bit. I'm sure they remember him.
Do they do the commemorative video during a playoff series? They're going to save it for the first meeting next year.
Probably.
I think they already did because they've already faced each other.
True. Oh, did they?
Dallas and Carolina? I didn't see Dallas and Carolina.
Yeah, I don't know if they've. Usually we're good with the tribute. The problem is he's too good of a player for our tribute video watch.
Right.
That's true.
We're more of a marginal group.
You're calling Ryan Reeves marginal?
Yeah. For tribute video purposes, yes.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. Final topic. We're just breezing through today. Did you guys see what happened in the AHL? I'm glad Richard put this on the rundown.
That was me.
Was it you? And Nick put it on. God, man, heck of an intern we have here. Double his salary. Bridgeport Islanders, Adam Beckman. He took out a referee. I mean, absolutely clocked the orange stripe. Got a 10-game suspension. The most interesting thing about it, if you watch the video, is as soon as he did it, he went to make sure that the official was okay. I think he thought it was a player. that he was
He did.
pushing out of the way.
100% he did. You could just tell by the reaction, right? Like he went to go check right away. It's the ref's fault. I'm gonna stand with this till I die. It's the ref's fault for being in the way.
Wow. I as a player, I'm always under the impression that no matter where the referee is, you do not touch them.
Exactly.
I mean, I rarely see a referee in that position in that kind of situation. Usually they're closer to the boards to make sure they're out of the play. But yeah, you see those stripes, you do not touch. Same with if you have the puck, you do not shoot it at them because they don't like that. I've learned.
Yeah. 10, he got off with 10 because it was an accident. That's about the minimum you can do for contact with an official.
And here's the thing, though. Yeah, it's his responsibility. I'm not buying. I mean, yes, I think the ref probably was out of position. If it was another player, it's at least 2 for interference anyway. I mean, he wasn't playing. Like,
No.
the puck was nowhere near him. So he's going to the box one way or the other. I think 10's probably the right number. I don't think the intent was there. But I think he got off. I'm not gonna say he got off light, but I think it's probably the right number to give him.
Yep, one of those unfortunate things, but got to know who you're pushing.
Yep,
got to know who you're pushing. Richard, we're there already. It's that time.
It is. It is that time for the famous PHN First Line Edition Picks of the Week. Brought to you by FoCO. Get your bobbleheads at FoCO. All right. Last week, Adam, you surpassed your season average in a week. You went 3-3, so you were at 500 last week. Still 20-31 on the season. I dipped below 500, but I've been there for a while. 24-32 on the season. Nicholas riding high, 3-3 as well last week. He's 7-5 on the shortened season for the young intern. And Lonnie didn't have any picks, so he remains at 22-28 on the season. But hope springs eternal. We have 7, count them, 7 picks this week. Starting with Colorado at Los Angeles. I'm going to start with Nick, the intern. Who you got?
I'm gonna take Los Angeles. They're 29-5-4 at home. So I think they take down your Avs.
All right. Lonnie?
yeah, I think. I mean, as much Colorado, I don't think they'll be pretty locked into third by then. So I'm gonna go with the Kings at home, trying to stay ahead of Edmonton for home ice.
Yeah, Colorado is locked into third. They can only tie Dallas at this point for second, in which Dallas has the tiebreaker. They can't finish any worse than third, so they are
There you go.
locked in.
Give me the Kings.
All right, Adam.
LA, because I want to see Richard sad.
And I want to go different from everyone else, so I will take the home team who's on the road. Confusing, I know. Colorado Avalanche. All right. Game number 2, we have the Minnesota Wild at the Vancouver Canucks. Let's start with Lonnie.
Wild little Western Canada back to back here. I'm gonna go with the Wild. I think they're gonna lose to Calgary on Friday, but I think they're gonna bounce back against Vancouver.
All right. Nicholas.
I'm also gonna go with the Wild. Vancouver sucks at home.
All right. Adam, who you got?
I like Vancouver. I think they'll pull one out of their hat.
Yeah, they're going to lose here in Denver tonight. I don't know if they're going to recover playing Minnesota. I'm going to take the Wild in that one. All right, game number 3, we have the Montreal Canadiens. Potential first round preview here. The Canadiens versus the Maple Leafs. I'm going to start with Adam. Who you got?
Leafs as they try to sew up number 1.
All right. Lonnie.
I was going to go with Montreal until I saw they've got 2-2 nights in Ontario, Friday, Saturday. So I'm gonna go with the Leafs.
Nicholas, do I need to ask?
No.
All right. Toronto for you, or Montreal for you. Got it. All right. We know he's going Toronto. All right.
I picked Toronto as well. You wrote it down wrong.
You said Montreal.
No, he
I
said Leafs.
Toronto.
He said Leafs.
Okay,
Yeah.
Leafs. All right.
Clean sweep, yeah.
Clean sweep. All right. Well, we'll make that unanimous. All right. Game number 4, we have the St. Louis Blues at the Seattle Kraken. Adam, who you got?
Got the Blues.
Lonnie?
Taking the Blues.
Nicholas?
To be different, I'll take the Kraken.
I love it. Attaboy.
All right. Game number 5, we have the Buffalo Sabres, the mighty Buffalo Sabres against the Florida Panthers. Nicholas, who you got?
Florida. I mean, like, not that it's going to be close, but it's more the fact that I need Florida to win to stay in third.
Hey, Lonnie?
I totally respect picking based on self-interest. I'm taking Florida too.
All right. Adam?
Give me the dumpster fire. Why not?
All right, Florida. Got it.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm taking Buffalo as well. I think at this point, Florida's not really going to have much to be able to improve on. They're going to be stuck in that third spot come Saturday. All right. Game number 6, we have Washington at the Columbus Blue Jackets. Adam, who you got?
Why what are we doing? What are we doing with this game?
I don't know. The intern had filled this out.
There's not a lot of meaningful games, man.
You just add Columbus in a meaningless game.
Rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
All right. Columbus across the board? Anybody taking Washington? All right. 0 takers. Got it. All right.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. That was
Sorry about that.
It's great.
We could just take it off. I mean, we already have 5 good games. We could take it off the board.
We could take it off. Yeah.
We got the bonus one here anyway.
Yeah, take it off. Just
let's
override the intern. This is why he's an intern.
All right. Done. Last one. The Frozen 4 winner, the NCAA National Championship. I am going to start with Lonnie.
Boy, I am gonna hard to pick against the defending champs. Give me Denver.
All right. That is DU, by the way. So I will put that in as such. All right, Nick.
I'm going to take Michigan.
They're not in it.
Oh, sorry.
You mean Western Michigan?
Western Michigan?
You mean
sorry,
the Western?
Yes. Sorry.
So here in the States, we have directional schools is what they're called. Yeah.
I can tell you guys need them.
We do need them. We have large states.
We do.
Yep.
Adam.
He stole my thunder, but I thought Western Michigan was going to be the first one out in the regionals because they were essentially playing road games versus a couple teams that travel well. I think that those folks are going to be down here in St. Louis. I have seen lots of brown walking around the last day or so here in the St. Louis metro area. So give me Western.
All right. I will take DU as well, as to nobody's surprise here on the podcast. There we go. There are our picks of the week. If you want to follow us on Blue Sky, you can find us at PHN Podcast. And if you'd like to submit your picks with us and see how well you fare, you can use the hashtag PHN Picks.
There you go. Parting thoughts, Nick.
Oh, I'm starting. I've turned this into a fun fact section.
Okay.
So the Stanley Cup has 2 typos. Jacques Plante's name is actually spelt without a U. And in 1980-81, the Islanders team was engraved missing the S in the Islanders.
I knew about the Plante, didn't know about the Islanders.
There's also a name that
I assume that'd be the first S in Islanders.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the Islander.
There is.
There's also a name that is crossed out.
Well, this is not your fun fact. This was his.
I know.
Jeez.
Stealing his thunder.
Okay, Richard, now your parting thought. You want to jump on somebody else's.
All right. My parting thought is about some exciting news here in the great state of Colorado. We have news of one Gabriel Landeskog lacing up his skates, suiting up for the Colorado Eagles. He could potentially be playing in games this Friday and Saturday in Loveland, Colorado. I've already checked, and tickets are ridiculously expensive. Cheapest one I found was about $300, all the way up to $1,200. So, needless to say, I am not going to be taking my son to go see that game.
Not going to Loveland.
Not going. It's just a quick trip up the road too. It's a nice place.
Spoiled my question of how much were tickets going for.
Yeah, there you go. That's how much they are.
Lonnie?
So I had a very fun experience last week. The Minnesota Vikings and USA Football brought in the Israeli national under-17 flag football team to have a scrimmage and joint practices with Team USA's under-17. The Vikings were hosting the Team USA under 15 and under 17 boys and girls spring camps at their facilities in Egan. Got to go down and cover the Israeli team being here for my day job. And I learned that kids are kids really no matter where they're from. One of the Israeli kids asked me to get a picture of him walking, and I asked why. And he showed me the picture on his lock screen, and it was just him strutting at a tournament, and he was trying to recreate that. And it's like, yep, he is a teenager, and it doesn't matter where you're from. The shtick is all the same. But an incredibly nice group. And flag football, just as an aside, 5-on-5, super high level, super fast paced stuff. It was a lot of fun to watch and just a cool experience to get to be there. But kids are kids wherever, doesn't matter. The shtick is all the same.
Flag football coming to the Olympics near you.
Yep.
My parting thoughts are very simple. It's my wife's birthday today, so not that she listens, not that she'll even know I'm saying happy birthday to her in here, but happy birthday. She's not one of the wives that listens to this, but I'll still say
happy birthday, Glow.
There you go. That'll do it. Nice tight first line edition with our friends at mycustomsportshare.com, Manscaped, LDE Affinity Jewelry, and FoCO. For Nick the Intern, Lonnie Goldsmith, Richard Cote, I'm Adam Minnick. This has been another edition of the Pro Hockey News Podcast.